If you count the time that I was in school, which I started in the late 80s right out of high school, so it's been over 20 years now. I actually did a couple of things while I was in school. I worked as a research scientist at the Stennis Space Center on the Gulf Coast. So I've had a little bit of an experience in not only television, but also in research and also in forecasting. I also worked at the Weather Service for just a little while. I developed an interest in weather very early on. I was the kid that would get up early before school and to call the phone line at the bank to see exactly what the temperature was and if there was any precipitation coming, because there was always hope for maybe a snow day. It didn't happen that often because I lived in Natchez, that's where I grew up, but there was always hope. And in the summertime, of course, we had all these tropical systems that would affect us in South Mississippi and South Louisiana, and so I was kind of fascinated by both ends of the spectrum in the summertime and in the wintertime. So I just always loved it and always watched the weather growing up. I was one of those kids that watched the news every night, and it was mostly for the weather. From Jackson State University, so I'm a local boy. Of course, I grew up in Natchez, and I went to school at JSU, so I've got, you know, a lot of experience right here forecasting the weather from school all the way up. I would say it actually didn't take place in Mississippi. I did spend a year out of Mississippi in Georgia. We had a tropical storm Alberto in 1994 that produced a ton of rain. It was about 24 inches of rain in one day. So imagine 24 inches of rain in 24 hours. So it caused flooding. There was flash flooding, and there was a bridge behind me with the rushing water. The bridge washed out during the stand-up. So yeah, I mean, there were people there watching the bridge. I'm doing the stand-up, and it washes away as I'm actually doing the story. Well, from my perspective personally, you know, I grew up in Mississippi. I'm from Natchez. I've lived here all my life. So, you know, I'm familiar with how oppressive the heat can be in the summertime. I know when to expect the severe weather in the fall, or how the weather can change on a dime in the wintertime. So I think it's the combination of that background and 20 years of forecasting experience in Mississippi that allows me to give the viewers the answers they need in order to plan their lives around the weather. I think what I enjoy the most about my job is you know, being the guy that lets everybody know what the weather is going to be like. I actually just really enjoy that. I think it's really special to be the person that people go to get that information. And so whenever I'm forecasting and I see that there's a big change in the weather coming, I know I'm the person that gets to tell everybody else that that's going to happen. And I really enjoy that part of it, because the weather is the part of the newscast that everybody is interested in, that affects everyone, and I get to deliver that news. The person that I used to look to get that information, now I'm the person that's delivering that information. And I know that there are probably kids at home right now that are just like I was when I was a kid, that they are anxiously, you know, watching the weather for severe weather, for maybe the ice storm or for the snow day. Well, I'm the person that gets to deliver that information now, and that's really cool.